By the way, my window says status on air at all times. I can't tell when we're live.
Coming
Maybe
up
we've
again.
never been live.
And it's got the same link.
So it's ending in O1U?
Yeah.
Or
OUI.
O0UI?
Yes.
Yikes.
Maybe because we're doing this too quickly?
Hmm. Are there two places to stop? Do you stop both in Mimo Live and in YouTube?
No, that's the thing. Once it's like Mimo Live activates the live stream in YouTube now. I'm wondering if there are limitations on how many times you can go live in a certain period of time.
Let's see. Launch Chrome window. Logged into the Blackpoint account. We have a checklist, by the way. We're going to read that out. Showing the live stream option in the left sidebar. It should say not streaming on the left sidebar of YouTube.
Well, but we are streaming now.
Does it say streaming right now?
Yeah, remember, because I stopped it. It went offline. It stopped streaming. And then I started it again. So we're now streaming again.
Launch Mimo Live to live show. Allison document. Launch all the ads. Blah, blah, blah. Steve verified 3 up there. Monitor. Verify audio inputs. Hit the green button next to live stream in Mimo Live. So hit the green button for me right now. That stops Mimo Live. You could quit Mimo Live and restart it.
I could.
That might be faster.
So what's weird is
have you saved the document, Steve? We made a bunch of changes to the document. Make sure you save.
What's odd is I'm seeing our live stream right now on the YouTube creator channel. Correct.
You are.
Yeah. But I can't get the link to it.
I wonder if I can go into that too. Which of me are you logged in as? Black and white me?
Yes.
Okay. Is this interesting to you guys? Because I could start the show, but you wouldn't see anything anymore. Let's see. Whoops, why did it log me up? Shows me in the other account. The problem is there's 2 of me. Which account?
It's a black and white.
Yeah, I'm trying. I was in the black and white, but when I asked for YouTube, it switched me over to the other one of me. Is this a test for a review? Well, we already did the review, and it was totally working. Okay, so my channel, right? No, Creator Studio. Sandy says it's the first time we've heard sausage being made instead of watching it. Okay, so live streaming.
So maybe I do need to stop Mimo Live. Because it's like it's not refreshing the link, even though it is sending the right one.
Yeah, it's right there. Look at that. Steve's right. Smile for the camera, Steve.
Yeah. But the problem is the Mimo Live isn't giving that to me, and that's the only place I know to get it. I don't know how else to get that link. I bet there's another way to
get it. Let's see. Copy that link. Set up for
you'd think there'd be another link.
Yeah. Well, there is a Go Live button on that page on the right-hand side. Is that just one? No, that's just one of those. That's not a button. That's a link to show you what to do. This is really interesting. Yeah, I don't think Mimo Live's doing it wrong.
Well, it is. It's showing me a link that is not being displayed. So it's giving me the old link. The public URL is not what it's displaying.
Oh, I think I might have found it.
Okay.
Hang on.
Good.
Let's see.
Ooh,
I'm going to give it to the chat room. See if this works, you guys. Is that the old one? Tell us your password. We can watch it through the YouTube live studio. That's a great idea, TJ.
Did you just put a new link in?
Yeah, I put it in the live chat room. It's a different link. You want me to put it in the live page and see if it works?
Yeah, okay. That's it. Okay, that one seems to be it. Okay. So let me try pasting that. It's a...
Wow.
it's a different format, but hopefully that link will work in your page.
Well,
let me try it.
See what it looks like.
Oh, you took it over. Can I?
No. Hang on.
Oh, you're gonna do it?
I did it already, but it's not sticking. Oh, come on. It's working in the chat room. So can you guys see us? Am I wearing a UC Irvine shirt for anybody?
Define in the chat room.
Well, I put the link in the chat room.
Yeah.
I can't see anyone.
That video that you gave us gives us a good YouTube video that is correct. But
okay.
But we can't get that into your Podfeet page.
Wow.
Did you try pasting that in?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's not an embed. No, but yeah, that's not the embed link, is it?
Oh, I thought those were the same. Let me try see if I can get anything else. What I did was I right-clicked on the video. Oh, there we go. Copy embed code.
Yeah.
How about that one?
Yeah, that should
All right,
work.
let's try that again. We will edit page. By 5:30, we ought to be started. Hope you guys didn't have plans later.
Yeah.
Let me see what this looks like before I paste it. Yeah, it's the whole. This is the whole iframe. So we want 420 by 315.
What? Oh, you're having to create?
Well,
that's...
Okay, fine. I'll do it like this.
Normally the embed pages give you all that. Is it not?
I know, but it gave me something different than what we normally use.
No, I just go with what they usually provide is good.
It isn't the same as what was there before. So let's see if I got it. Yes!
You got it?
I got something.
Let's see.
All right,
here.
refresh your screens, guys. Sandy has to refresh once.
Yes.
But yeah. Okay, so the way I did it, Steve, was in the YouTube Creator Studio. I right-clicked on it on the video, and I did copy embed URL.
Finally.
Okay, so write that down, would you? Because I need to start the show. Okay?
Let me get to your notes here.
No, but I'm going to mute you now.
But what is I didn't hear what you said. I need you to repeat that.
In Creator Studio, right-click on the embed URL, or on the video, and copy the embed URL from there. Okay, I'm muting you. Somebody else remind him what I said. Okay, there you are in live. Am I wearing a UC Irvine shirt? Yes? Thumbs up? Okay. All right, here we go. I'm going to mute Steve. Goodbye, Steve. All right, here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, May 6, 2018, and this is show number 678. Well, I want to start the show by thanking the SMR guys, Chris Ashley and Rob Dunwood, for holding down the fort while Steve and I were snorkeling with turtles. Now, you guys probably assume that such seasoned podcasters as them would be able to pull off a NosillaCast without straining a muscle. But it turns out their show is so different from this show that this was truly an extraordinary effort on their part. I can't really express it well enough, but I think the best way to illustrate this is to play for you the beginning of this week's SMR podcast, where they talk a little bit about it. Even before they start talking, you're going to hear their intro that they play every week, and that alone gives you a flavor of how funny these guys are with each other. Now, the show starts with Rod Simmons talking, who was not on the NosillaCast, but he sets them up to talk about it. Let's hear what they had to say. Okay. Did you know I was going to do this, Steve? Oh. I'm going to unmute you for a second there, Steve.
No, I didn't.
It's funny as heck. Now, where did I put it? Whoops.
Is this 375 SMR podcast 375? Which one was it? Oh, it's the one they did of you?
I don't know. I don't understand the question.
I'm just trying to find the link to that podcast you're referring to.
You don't need to find the link. I'm just going to... Oh, the link is in the show notes.
Yeah, it took me to the overall podcast, not the specific one.
Oh, okay. That's the latest one.
The latest,
okay. So whatever that is. So you guys got to hear this. This is so funny. Okay, here we go. what they had to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are 7 acknowledged wonders of the world. You are about to witness the 8th.
What happened?
A couple other countries.
Countries.
North Carolina just became a country.
I was kind of thinking the same thing.
I didn't hear a word you said. I completely tuned you out.
I think this next one's got to be my favorite.
Today's Tuesday, May 1st, 2018. This is show number 375 of the SMR podcast. Yes, fools, we are one day early. I'm your host, Rod Simmons, joined by my partners in crime, the NosillaCast away hosts for a week, Chris Ashley and Rob Dunwood.
What up, peoples?
What's going on, fellas?
Y'all hold it down proper for Allison?
Did we? Me and Rob went into unconscious mode. Our eyes rolled back in the back of our head, and we became actual podcast hosts.
Which day did you guys want to record?
I don't.
I think that was it, right? Do you hear anything? I'm not hearing anything. I haven't. No, something blanked out. No audio. No audio. I don't hear you either. Let me put you back on. How about
Okay. You couldn't hear?
Playback.
Really?
Maybe I cut you off. Play.
Yeah. Could you guys hear the? I heard it on Discord.
Discord.
Oh, could you hear the SMR podcast intro or no?
I heard the
I
intro.
muted myself.
I heard the intro and then it stopped. They talked about being filling in for you, and then it stopped.
Oh, you're kidding. Okay, so I must have. Maybe I muted myself. Where's my track? Oh, things are sluggish.
I heard the SMR bit, but the question is, how far into the bit did we hear? Did we hear the whole thing? It sounded like you were hearing it, but we may not have, because it was silent and you were still apparently listening.
What did you hear?
Okay, I heard up to where they were talking about taking over for Allison and being chill or something, and then it stopped.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna let you guys hear it on the show because this is getting to be too hard. Okay, I'm gonna mute you. Here we go.
Delicious. You can't do that kind of stuff on her show.
No.
Okay, so can you guys see why I love these guys? They slay me. Now, I got to tell you, Rob was not kidding when he said he could talk about a bag of chips or something. If you listen to the rest of the latest show, what I think it is 375, I think, of the SMR podcast, you will actually hear Rob doing a whole bit about Funyuns that is absolutely hysterical. Anyway, thanks so much, guys. That was fantastic. I love the show, and I'm sure everybody else did as well. Well, we're finally back to a new episode of Programming by Stealth after a few weeks chatting with about different things like GDPR and DNS with Bart Buchatz. In this installment of Programming by Stealth, Bart starts explaining the utilities available in Bootstrap. We're going to learn how easy it is to use the pre-built CSS styles of Bootstrap to color text, add borders, spacing, text alignment, and fonts, all with semantic phrases that actually make sense. It's kind of bizarre. In an odd bit of luck, Bootstrap had been updated, and Bart's code that he showed us did not reflect the new version. Now, in most shows, that would be catastrophic because something went wrong, but this change allowed Bart to walk me through how to figure out what was wrong and how to access the Bootstrap documentation to fix it. This is the best way to learn something, is obviously to break it first, or at least Bart and I feel that way. You can find this episode either in your Chit Chat Across the Pond feed or the Programming by Stealth feed in your podcatcher of choice. Please tell me you heard that. No, you're unmuted.
Yes,
I was
heard
listening to
that.
discard pods. Yeah. Oh, chapter markers. There we go. That I would have absolutely forgotten. Okay, we're going to do step shop guides next. And I'm going to copy URL here. Paste. Whoops. I'm not handy at this efficiently lately. There we go. Okay. So now I gotta find step shot guides. Good question, Sandy. Sandy asked, oh, we don't have to explain it anymore because now we have the live chat in there. Sandy asked how Kevin can knows that Steve commands it if you can't hear him.
Kevin explained it.
So, nobody's noticed it, Steve.
No one's commented, at least.
You guys are really unobservant.
Well, they probably just they noticed it while we were trying to get the video up.
Yeah, but how could they have?
No, they couldn't have.
It's amazing that they haven't noticed anything. Every once in a while, I'm hearing a dirt. I don't know what that's coming from because I'm not listening to Discord, but it's a Discord-y kind of sound. Oh, I meant to clear up for Nico Cadman or whatever. I don't know how to pronounce your name, Joe.
Nido Kamen.
That's Joe. Joe knows what we're talking about when we said you didn't notice.
Sandy said
yet.
She noticed.
Oh, and there, Rose noticed too. Yes, the lighting. That is because of Joe Duganzik, who is Nido Kamen. The reason you're called bot is because you're coming through a thing called TitanBot on the website. That's why, because you're using the embedded client.
So anyone, anyone going through your website versus the Discord app will appear that way.
Yeah. If you go through the Discord app, you won't see it. If you go through the website, you will. So, these are LifeX bulbs that Joe talked me into getting, and we'll be talking about them later when I get them working. I was having a bunch of failures this afternoon after we got it all working, Joe. So anyway, I think they're cool. And the best part is how I think they really highlight the meat grinder.
Yes.
The sausage grinder.
Meat grinder is almost silhouetted there.
You think they need to be a little brighter?
They're
a little subtle for my taste, don't you think?
You can go a little bit. Sausage grinder looks great.
It really does. Let's crank that up some. There we go. Now we're talking.
Woo.
We actually moved things around so that the sausage grinder looked better in the lights. We're not kidding. And TJ, are you happy to see that let's see, it's hard for me to point because it's not a reflection. Did you notice the clock covers the clock correctly now? I know that was upsetting to TJ that it wasn't correctly lined up last time.
It's actually off a little bit. Let me move it. There.
Oh, much better. Much better.
And maybe vertical a little. Now I can't.
Oh, sorry. All right, I'm going to keep... Oh, Joe never noticed the sausage grinder. That was a gift from Kevin, and he could explain to you what it is. But I'm going to mute Steve, and I'm going to keep recording. Bye, Steve. All right, here we go. Come on. A few weeks ago on the NosillaCast, I gave you an update on the future of Clarify. I said that there were no good alternatives, and I downplayed the only alternative out there when I said, I tried out StepShot from stepshot.net, which is similar, but in my opinion, it is a very poor substitute. It's also $12 a month or $119 per year. Even as many tutorials as I do, that's a pretty steep price. Well, after I wrote that, the fine folks at StepShot saw it and reached out to me. I got an email from Anastasia Yasovich, the marketing manager for StepShot. She asked if I'd give her the opportunity to demonstrate the tool to me. I told her I'd be delighted to be proven wrong, and I really would like to be proven wrong. And after calculating time zones between California and Estonia, we scheduled a Discord video screen sharing session. So before you listen to this review, though, remember that we're comparing a new tool to one that is in my top favorite apps of all time. It might even be the #1 slot. So if this tool sounds like it gets a B- from me, that's actually a ringing sign of endorsement. StepShots comes in a couple of varieties. Stepshots Guides is designed to help create documentation for small business owners, IT trainers, freelancers, and bloggers. Now, I'd say that means us, right? Now, they also have Stepshot Manuals, which is designed to build sophisticated enterprise software manuals. They also have a version of documentation within Atlassian's Confluence product. For this conversation, though, I'll just be talking about Stepshot Guides. I'll get this name right yet. Stepshot Guides for individuals and small groups of people. Well, rather than start at the beginning on how to create documentation with Stepshot Guides, I'm going to start with the end condition for most people, which is exporting to a document. That's really the problem to be solved, right? If you can't create a document at the end, then it's not got any value. Stepshot Guides exports to PDF and to WordPress, but I'll get into WordPress a little bit later. Now, many people might want to export to Microsoft Word. I am not one of them, but Stepshot Guides does not support that yet. But Anastasia said they are working on it. Stepshot Guides has 4 templates to choose from in your export to landscape or portrait. Now, they don't give you much of a preview, but I printed a document out to all of them, and they were all pretty pleasing. You can also design your own templates, but it will require a working knowledge of CSS. Now, you have been listening to Programming by Stealth, right? So you're a big old CSS wizard. Anyway, if you want to create your own, they do have that capability, which is pretty cool. The main thing I was looking for was whether they did a good job of spacing out the photos with the step titles and text around them. This, after all, is one of the primary things that makes using tools like this easier and less time-consuming than plopping screenshots into Microsoft Word and moving text around and fighting with word wrapping around images. I mean, I've lost part of my soul doing that sometimes. I hate using Microsoft Word for this. And Pages is the same way. I hate that too. Anyway, Stepshot Guides resizes the screenshots extremely well without me having to mess around with them. And in at least some of the templates, it puts the title before the screenshot and the step description underneath, which is the way I like it. Okay, now we know we can export things. Let's talk about everything else. Stepshot Guides is not a standard macOS application. It has virtually no menus in the menu bar. Instead, the menus are all within the floating Stepshot Guides window. I think that's the result of building the app so it's cross-platform, and I've seen this kind of behavior before in apps that are cross-platform. But hey, that means they can make money from the Windows side as well, so that's good. Across the top, you start with 3 buttons for bringing in screenshots. There's a standard button when pushed that allows you to grab an area on screen, and there's a button to allow you to import images you've already taken. If you're a keystroke junkie, there are 4 keystroke options you'll enjoy over in Settings, and of course, you can change them to what you like. Now, any old tool has a single screenshot option, but if this is a tool for making really good documentation, you're going to want more than that. In Stepshot Guides, there's also a button they call Capture Process. This is very cool. Capture Process allows you to stay in the process you're trying to document and take snapshot after snapshot after snapshot without losing the flow of your work. If you take a shot and go do something and take a shot and go do, mess around, you really get out of the flow of the work, and it's easy to miss a step and actually make a mistake in your documentation. Now, this Capture Process is done in a unique way. When you select Capture Process, you get a little floating window. On that window, you have a stop and pause button and the option to capture a screen, an active window, or a region. Now, this took me a little bit to get the hang of using, but once you get it, it works really well. Capture Process has a bright orange dotted line area ready to capture when you have region selected, for example. Now, you drag that around and resize it to the area you'd like to capture. Then you simply click inside the orange box and the shot is captured. Once often you're describing a sequence of clicks to move from one screen to the next. If you need to click inside the orange box, how do you keep it from taking a shot, right? Because clicking inside the box is what makes it take the shot. And if you're trying to click a menu that's inside the orange box, what would you do? Well, that's where that pause button comes in that I just mentioned. Pause, click to the next window, then hit play in the floating window, and you can keep taking shots. Works really well. Like I said, it took quite a few tries for me to get the hang of it, but once I understood it, it worked very well. After you take a shot and Capture Process, you can add a title and description to your step in that little floating window, or you can just keep snapping away to stay in the flow of your process. It's kind of like a halfway in between method where you can just type one little thing and keep going. At first, I was surprised to see that every screenshot had 2 extra elements captured. My cursor was on screen along with a red drop shadowed rectangle right where I'd clicked. Well, the cool thing is you can move them around to point exactly where you like them. So after you've got all these screenshots and you've got this little cursor and this little rectangle, you can still move them around. They're floating layers. If you don't want them, you can always delete them. And in settings, you can disable this feature entirely. You can, after the fact, move that cursor and rectangle around, like I said. With Clarify, I almost always go back to an image right after I snap it and put in an arrow to remind myself of what I clicked on. Okay, I'm going to stop shortly and hit save because I actually found a mistake in the text and it distracted me. Where was I? Disable.
Do you want me to go fix something?
No, it's subtle.
All right.
It's the same sentence in there twice. You could do me a favor, though.
What's that?
Could you go to Stepshot Guides or stepshot.net and make sure there's really a Windows version? I did that on the fly because I said cross-platform, and I'm not positive there is one. And if there isn't, we're going to have to go back and find it.
Stepshot.
If you don't want them, stepshot.net, I think it is. You can always set that ready. Well, the cool thing is you can move them around to point exactly where you like them. So after you've got all these screenshots and you got this little cursor and this little rectangle, you can still move them around. They're floating layers. If you don't want them, you can always delete them. And in settings, you can disable this feature entirely. That's where I made the mistake. Feature entirely. Save. Hey, you guys, remember that everything you write in the chat room is saved forever and it's in video. So, oh, geez, Steve,
Sorry.
that's what the mute button's for. Okay. Did you find out? And I cough right when I told you not to cough. I'm pretty sure it's cross-platform. Okay, I'm going to meet you. I'll ask you on the next break. I have to say, in Clarify, I almost always go back to an image right after I snap it, and I throw in an arrow to remind myself of what I clicked on to go to the next screen. With Stepshot Guides, I wouldn't have to interrupt my flow, and I could change it later if I needed to. So that's actually a good feature. I like that better. I mentioned that you can add step titles and descriptions, but they also have the concept of headings, and you add those in the main window interface. This allows you to break up your document into visually distinct sections. Now, I didn't find the ability to number steps, other than by hand, of course, but this might be a good way to group your things into separate sections by putting in those headings. Stepshot Guides has the annotations you would hope for: rectangles, rounded rectangles, ovals, lines, arrows, sequence numbers, text, blur, and even a highlighter. To the right of the annotations panel is a menu to change the color and weight of the outline, the fill color, and what kind of shadow you'd like on the annotation. While Stepshot Guides has all of these options, the annotations are a little too subtle for my tastes. Even when you change the weight from thin all the way up to wide, there are only 3 options, the lines are still extremely thin. The Stepshots folks do acknowledge that they need to improve this, so that's good. It's in active development. That's what we're looking for, right? An app in active development. Anyway, adding a drop shadow to an annotation does help for readability. So if you draw a line and it's too thin, throw in a drop shadow and you'll be able to see it. As I mentioned earlier, Stepshot Guides automatically resizes your screenshots on export so you don't have to faff about with them. But there's a big downside. They also resize your annotations. The problem is most extreme if you use their sequence numbers. Let's say you have a screenshot that's a full-width web page with a sequence number on it, and then a second screenshot that's only a partial bit of the page. The sequence on the full-width page will be wee tiny in the exported document, and the one on the partial bit will be the normal size. Now, the only option at this time, and they didn't say they would fix this, is on export to set all images to be exported to the same percentage. I tested this option, and it looked ridiculous. The small screenshot was a little tiny area with a giant box around it, while the large image looked fine. Definitely not the right workaround. I hope they can find a way to fix this, but they did not make me a promise on this particular one. And most of the time they said, oh, yeah, we should fix that. Yeah, we'll put that on the list. The purpose of a blur tool is to obfuscate what's under it, but still allow the viewer to understand that what the thing is that is under the blur. Stepshot Guides doesn't allow you to change the level of blur, and it's so extreme that it might as well be a solid rectangle. If there aren't controls on the blur level, going extreme is the right default, but I'd rather have a slider to control that blur. I'm very glad they have a blur tool, and it is easy to apply. It's just an opportunity for them to improve this, in my opinion. Publishing to WordPress worked reasonably well. Like with Clarify, it took me a few tries to figure out which URL they needed in order to authenticate to my web server, but I got that sorted out in fairly short order. Snapshot Guides shows a post name, which was blank for me since I had never put up a post from it before. I selected the only active button, which was Browser. That took me to a spinning gear on a blank screen. But at the bottom, one option was Create New. I selected Create New and gave the post a title. The next screen had a nice option where you could give a prefix name to each image that would be uploaded for that post. I thought that was kind of cool, and I was finally able to post my masterpiece. And of course, I found something I didn't like. I went back to Snapshot Guides. I should say I found something I didn't like in what I had written. I went back into Snapshot Guides, fixed my problem, and now the post field was pre-filled in with the title of the post I just created. I was able to re-upload, and it looked great. But then I evidently broke the connection between Snapshot Guides and this post because over at WordPress, I changed the title of the post. There's nothing I can do in Snapshot Guides that will let me upload this post again. I found that the only way I could ever upload this document was to actually delete the connection to my WordPress server and add it back in again. Only took a few seconds to do that, but it was after I fussed about quite a bit trying to find other solutions. I ran into this problem at the very end of my testing, and I didn't get a chance to ping Anastasia about it yet because it was 1 a.m. in Estonia when I wrote it up. It's possible she'd have a better answer than the path I followed. Now, I'd like to see Snapshot Guides include an option to push documents up not just as WordPress posts, but also as WordPress pages. Pages are evergreen documents, while posts are more time-sensitive. In general, my tutorials are all pages for that very reason. I do have a WordPress plugin that can change posts into pages, but that will break the link between Snapshot Guides and my WordPress configuration, so I'll have to re-upload and move it over every time. I put a link in the show notes to the little tutorial I created explaining how to change your DNS resolvers if you've got a Frontier or Verizon Fios router, so you can see what Snapshot Guides looks like in WordPress. I did have some weird glitches with Snapshot Guides. I've been feeding them all back to Anastasia, who is very receptive, as I've said, so I'm sure these will get ironed out, but in the world of full disclosure, I thought I should mention them. First of all, a couple of times Snapshot Guide screen erased and it was just blank. This happened after sleep one time, and a second time when I was recording the screen to show something to Anastasia. I also ended up in an odd loop where Snapshot Guides was convinced I had not saved my file. When I tried to create a new one, it suggested I save before I do that. Okay, sure, I'll save again. I again asked for a new file, and again it said I hadn't saved. I also noticed that there was an unsaved file section with a 2 on it. I looked, and there was the same file I was working on listed 2 more times. I tried to save them. I tried to not save them, but still I couldn't create a new file. I finally said, no, I don't want to save the file, and then it let me create a new file. And guess what? Now I'm showing 3 unsaved files, all of the same file with 3 different timestamps. I don't know how to clear them, but I'm sure when Estonia wakes up, Anastasia will have a solution for me. I have to say in the bottom line that Snapshot Guides is really quite good, and I'm very glad that Anastasia convinced me to have another go with their vastly improved product. The fact that Snapshot Guides is in rapid development is very encouraging. While I'm no more fond of subscription services than the next guy, I think this business model might actually be necessary. You know, we look back fondly at paying $40 just once for Clarify. Guess what? Developers couldn't make enough money at that price to keep the product going. So we know for a fact that it's not a fair price for what we got over time because they couldn't make a living on it. Remember, you can buy a month of Snapshot Guides at a time for just $12. So let's say you need to make a guide or you need to make a couple of them, you just pay $12. But you do get a significant price cut if you're using it all the time, if you subscribe for a year at $119, I should say. I think it's a worthy replacement for Clarify already, and I have faith that they're going to keep improving the product over time. Now, all that said, it's still possible that Blue Mango Learning, the makers of Clarify, will upgrade it to 64-bit. But I'm very happy to say that there is a worthy replacement, albeit with a few rough edges in development today with Snapshot Guides. If you'd like to give Snapshot Guides a free trial, head over to Snapshot. I'll get this right yet. I stumble on this name every time. Head on over to snapshot.net/guides. And if you don't want to keep listening and be stumble over it, just find the link in the show notes.
For the life of me, I could not clearly see whether they support Windows, but one of their clients is Microsoft. So I'm going to assume yes.
Oh, okay, good.
There's no explicit way that I
interesting.
could find to see it. Maybe you have to get into the download process, the free trial, which I wasn't willing to do.
Huh. Interesting. All right. Whew. It is time for Monoprice. Okay. It's going to be a long show. Come on. You know, we're going to see Lindsay. I might save the UPS doorbell story. We'll see. Oh, Steve muted himself. Thank you, Steve. Okay, here we go. Next up, we have a really fun, nerdy interview with Monoprice that we did over at NAB. Before we jump into it, though, you may remember that I've stopped buying from Monoprice, at least for a while. I've been a big fan of their stuff for ages, but when Safari started blocking third-party cookies, I realized that Monoprice was using them to track us on the internet. In fact, I even did a post about it called Vote with Your Dollars, Monoprice using third-party tracking with Criteo. Well, the reason I went to see Monoprice and NAB in the first place was to see if I could get them to stop using Criteo to track us around the internet. Now, I understand free services using tracking methods. I may not like it, but I understand why they do it. But I do not think it's right for someone I'm paying my hard-earned dollars to tracking us around the internet. That's not right. Before I interviewed Manny Hernandez of Monoprice, I told him about the Criteo problem, and he said he knew the web developers and would talk to them about it and get back to me. I reminded him once since the show, but I haven't heard back from him yet. But you know me, I'll keep nagging them until they either fix the problem, tell me they're never going to fix it, or they acquire a restraining order against me. One of those three things is going to happen. Anyway, with that giant caveat out of the way, the interview with Manny is super fun and interesting in the geekiest way ever. So let's get started and listen to that interview.
I think something happened with that post.
Yeah, where's the rest of the
I don't
sentence?
know. So let's G. I thought you were going to say, let's go.
Yeah, I changed it to let's give it a listen there. Okay, NAB interviews. You are really good about remembering to give me the interviews. I was sure today you would have forgotten, but you didn't.
It's part of my process now.
Yeah. Let me give that a listen here. Allison nagged someone shocking. Okay, analyzing. There we go. Let's see how that sounds. And listen to that interview. Well, most of you out there like quality products for a really, really good price, and a company everybody seems to know about, but we got to keep talking to them, is Monoprice. And I'm here with Manny Hernandez from Monoprice, and you're a product manager here, right?
Yes, I am.
So we're going to talk real geeky about cables.
Cables are so exciting. So
this guy is hilarious. I loved him.
True engineer, but he had some people skills.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But he was really good about explaining stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
Very
he was
good.
awesome. So I may do myself a favor.
And what is that?
And go right to security bits and not do the doorbell.
You're going to save up some material?
We got 30 minutes and I got a 56-minute security bits.
Ooh, yeah.
So let me take
Kevin's
that out
reminding
right now.
you to chapter mark.
Okay. I will. One moment, because it doesn't count until I add this. I got to put this in the 679 is next week, right?
Yes.
Whoops. Space. Okay, good. W, back to here. All right, preview. Oh. It's time for Security Bits Music 2. And where's the Security Bits link? Uh-oh.
What?
Read where it says Security Bits. The title.
Security bits, Facebook camera. Unproxy bits? Oh. What happened to bits?
I don't know. It just got floating around on the outside. Okay. I have fixed it on my copy. Hopefully I will remember to...
Probably just didn't include that in the link, the URL highlighter.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's a copy paste problem. Okay. Now we will go security bits music. I might get done. Oh, it's 5:50. I might get done on time. Because I'm just going to cheat and just put Bart in. I could go back and play that intro for you guys when we're done.
Well, they may have heard it.
Yeah, ask them in the chat room while I listen to this for a second. Is she ignoring my saves? Yes, I did forget your saves. Thank you, Kevin. 30 bits. We'll put you right on the track where you belong. That's going to take a while to bring in. Yeah, so did you guys hear the whole jokey joke stuff from... You can talk again, Steve. Yeah, the SMR intro. Did you guys hear all the thing? Jungles aren't music, but jingles are. Did I say jungles? Look at my lights. Does anybody have a problem with seizures? Because I can make them. I can make them be a strobe too.
Let's leave them slow.
There's even a warning. It says, "You sure you want to do that? That can really bother people."
Cool.
Yeah. Let's go candle flicker for
people
a little
are
while.
not sure. At least Sandy isn't.
Okay. Oh, all right.
Frank?
Frank got on Discord on his iPad.
Good job,
Sweet.
Frank.
Hey, Joe, is Joe still here?
I don't think so. I don't see him anymore in the chat room list.
Oh, you guys, before I forget, guess what next week is? I meant to say this in the intro. Next week is the 13-year anniversary, and it's on the 13th.
Yes.
Wait, I guess it's always on the 13th, but I mean, it'll actually be recorded on the 13th.
Luckily, it's not a Friday.
So I think we're going to call it, we'll call it the 269th episode. 13 years on the 13th, it's 269. And it's Mother's Day, that's right.
So it sounds like...
Oh, Joe's still here. Joe is still... Oh,
how come
because
he's
in
not
as a bot,
he's
that's
the
why.
Titan. Right, Titan bot.
Yeah, because you're a Titan bot. You don't show up. Okay. What question did I have for Joe? It's gone already.
Was it about the lights?
It must be 1313 Pod Feet Lane. So make sure you come to next week's show because we should do high fives.
Hopefully we can get jumbo shrimp back there.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if Neil remembers.
We can send him a little tweet.
Candle flicker. Maybe that was... Is that candle flicker, but in blue? There's a music visualizer?
I think it is, although it's like a laser candle.
It's color
you might
cycle.
want to get more of a yellow. Oh, it's color cycling and flickering?
No, I changed it. Now that's color cycle. How's that different from random? I'll show you the coolest thing. Watch this. If you go into create and then you go into colors, you can paint on colors. Ooh. Okay, so it's red right now, but I can, let's see, if I go to green, I can paint some green in too. It's probably too bright to be able to tell though, isn't it?
It's pretty bright, yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Wait a minute, what happened?
Looks like you're still rotating through your colors. No,
I'm changing that. I'm wiping it in. I'm wiping
more blue
colors
than
in.
Green. Oh, there we go.
Some yellow. Some yellow at the other end. That's ugly. And that's, oh, what's that? Day and dusk. Oh, I don't want to do that. Effects. We'll go back to color cycle. There we go. Yeah, it is pretty nifty. Actually, I could show you the interface.
Red is blood from the meat grinder.
Oh, that's terrible.
Well, you did have red behind it.
Okay. So you guys can see that screen?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to go to color. And you see how there's a bar up above? Mm-hmm. I can, let's see, I'll tap on red. The whole thing turns red. But now if I go over here and I tap on, boy, that's hard to do. Nope. Tap on the, now I'm on that button. Now I can tap a color, and if I wipe it in, you see it go in
It's a
there.
little blown out to see it, but I think we can kind of see the effect.
Is it actually doing it?
Yeah. On the right, it's more yellow, but it's behind your head.
Yeah. Let's see. How do I change the brightness from this level? I don't know how to change the brightness while I'm in there. Here we go. Bring the brightness
Do a red
down.
and a blue, so there's more contrast.
Bring the brightness down. Is that bringing it down?
Yeah.
Okay. Bring a red and a blue?
Yeah.
Color? All right, but the idea was to do... Okay. It just went all the way bright.
Maybe.
Oh, Joe, these things are crap. Ooh. Ooh, don't do that. Cancel. If you press and hold, you can delete the colors. Maybe I should finish the show. I appear to have gotten distracted.
Yeah, I think so. Squirrel.
We'll put it back to color cycle. I don't know how to make that be the right color. It does. It looks like flame now. All right, let's check the audio and see how this sounds. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Security Bits with Bart Boost Shots, and I feel like I haven't talked to you in 100 years, Bart.
Probably because, it hasn't been 100 years, but it's been quite a while. You've been off sunbathing, swimming with turtles. I don't know what you're doing, actually. I didn't get any email updates, so I don't know.
Wow. There's an echo of his voice on the line. Can you guys hear that?
Actually, because...
Play it again, Al?
Oh, look, you played yourself. Okay, listen here. Do you see? Let's see. If you see where my cursor is, right here, it's light blue, but then there's a little dark blue things. That's Bart talking again.
I was thinking of you, actually.
Ate something, took a nap, swam with turtles, took...
Probably because, it hasn't been 100 years, but it's been...
Okay, I'm going to separate that into two... Oh, that's going to be a pain if that's true. Let's see. Tools? Split stereo. That's going to be a pain. It's like a... on it. That's going to be a lot of clipping for me to work on. Every time he's talking... Now we know what I'm doing for the rest of the night. I do not think you're going to want to be here. Steve, did you turn yourself off? You turned yourself off. Nobody could hear you say yes.
Yes, I did. On?
What time is it? Uh-oh, it's almost time. All right. Once again, you paint the colors. You can switch the normal color pick over the... Okay, I'm going to have to read that after. Okay. Oh, so now can you see it? Oh, man, Steve, it's frozen. Oh, there you go. See how on Bart's track, the upper track that's me, is the orange one, and the blue one is him?
Yeah.
There's bleed through of him talking.
Yes, there is.
Oh, good gracious.
But I didn't hear it.
Oh, I can absolutely hear it. You want to come in here and hear it?
No, I believe you.
It's bad. Yeah.
Probably because, it hasn't been 100 years, but it's been quite a while. You've been
happen?
off sunbathing, swimming with turtles.
I don't know. I'm not bleeding through to him. Well, luckily he talks like 90% of the time, so I'll have big swaths of time to work on. But it is 6 o'clock, so I think this is just going to be me sitting there going, okay, now how do I affect just one track? I'm going to have to go into my app Keep It from Reinvented Software. You guys should check out Keep It, by the way. I'm doing I did a video for Don on it. If you subscribe to Screencast Online, you'll learn it. But that's where I keep all my notes now. It's a really cool app. What is this called? This is called Hindenburg. It'll have Hindenburg in it. Whoops. Only if you spell it right. So I think we should let class go.
Yeah, they've been pretty good.
There it is. Found my notes.
And they've been patient with all of our sausage making up front.
Yeah, yeah. I did see somebody new come in, but they're not in here now. We saw Topher come in. He made some jokes at the beginning.
Yeah, he's yellow now. He's not green, so he's kind of in a wait mode.
Not paying attention. All right, I think we should call it, and I'm gonna have to get going. So, Thanks, Rick. Glad you guys could come. I'm really happy that you got things working, Frank. Thanks to all the usual suspects. We didn't have time for roll call. Steve, we should put your face back up to say goodbye.
There we go.
I don't want to end on blue. Wow, that's crazy. Go back to random. Random had a color setting. Anyway, everybody have a great week, as Sandy says, and love to Rose. Mwah. Goodbye, everybody. And I don't know how to make us stop being live. Steve's in charge of that.
I think I can do that. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, I got to start talking.